What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube Blitz. Monday was a disaster. Absolute stone cold apocalypse. Didn't win a damn thing. Was terrible, horrible, no good, very bad. But did a little giveaway over on Twitter. Tried to give some run good back into the world there. Follow me at Eric Lindquist if you don't already. Trying to give away free stuff and then also give good information. I have Lindy's Locks update, which hasn't happened in the last couple. Been really, really busy with everything over at Odd Shopper. And hey, it's exciting stuff because we were able to slash prices like crazy across the board there. You're able to use a market-based approach. See what I'm looking at for myself. $14.95 for the week, $49.95 for the monthly. Again, the insider access alone, the Discord, used to be $20. We took $5 away, and we're going to give you the OS premium tools. That's how ridiculous it is. This is going to be the way things are going forward. It is phenomenal. So take advantage of that in the link below if you haven't already, because again, $14.95 weekly, absolutely redonkulous stuff. But friends, I got to be better. That's for sure. I'm excited about Tuesday. Off to a decent enough start. Not happy with myself for not having Dennis Schroeder, who absolutely smashed in 3 quarters here already. Didn't end up having his points plus assists on the card, and it would have hit already. So riddle me that, Batman. Okay, why did I not? It was just one of those things that didn't grade out as well as it normally did, partially because matchup on the other side, Brooklyn. Whatever. Should have pulled the trigger on our guy. I apologize to him, his family, and the great country of Germany. But my friend Jacob, producer Jacob, he's ready to rock here. I'm excited. You're excited. We're all excited for Wednesday. 7 games coming down the pipeline. Let's get to the picks. Our tour begins in a pretty fascinating spot. The Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Detroit Pistons, who are 2-15. The Detroit Pistons are 2-15. They've played 17 basketball games. They've won 2. 2? What do you mean only 2? That's from Willy Wonka, if anybody cares. But Los Angeles Lakers, my friends, this is a team that obviously Anthony Davis, LeBron James, you can just sit there, wait, question whether or not they're going to play or not with the questionable tags. This is one of those spots where it's really hard for them not to just utilize LeBron James here. Yeah, he's questionable, but he's played in all of these so far. Just try to get some of these freebies. And not the Detroit. Well, no, they're kind of been a freebie here thus far. I mean, this is just a ridiculous streak. And obviously Williams has come in, not really doing the best job coaching, doing some really, really, really dumb shit here. I mean, we saw Marvin Bagley get sat in favor of James Wiseman in an NBA basketball game. Now, they're both terrible, and you don't want either on your basketball team, but James Wiseman, the best thing that ever happened to him was getting hurt at Memphis so people couldn't see how bad he was. If you had seen him play college ball, I'm convinced there's no way you'd reverse engineer that, go back, and you would take him if you're Golden State. And then how they unleashed him, I have no idea. Again, Detroit, maybe just take some shots, try some. No. They're giving contracts to guys like Marvin Bagley. So it's just dumb what we are witnessing from Detroit. Complete malpractice when it comes to running your basketball team. Now, they do have a really fun piece in Asar Thompson. We're going to cheer for him. Obviously, you know how much I love Jalen Duren, but my God, the complexion of this team with Cade Cunningham at the helm, Jaden Ivey, Marcus Sasser. Can we get our guy a bucket? Can we get some minutes for my guy? Nice to see 22 against Washington in blowout run, but we'd like to see him go out and try to chuck in meaningful minutes. But again, this is not a conversation to have about why we're going to back Detroit, because we're not going to back Detroit. We're going to do the exact opposite and back this Lakers team here, -7. I think this number closes at 8.5. I bet there's a little trepidation every time you see the Q tag next to LeBron James for bettors. But this is just an LA team that, yeah, they haven't been good, but they're sitting right around the league average in terms of adjusted net rating and middle of the road in adjusted defensive and offensive rating. And they're 10-8, and they're playing a 2-15 basketball team. And this will scurry up quick. So -7, you might want to grab yourself a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Had some nice comments, people talking through the plays. Again, I want to talk through plays. It's more important to me than it is to just give you plays the night before. And why is that? Well, it's that whole adage of you teach a man to fish, they can eat for a lifetime. You catch, no, fuck it, I can't remember it. You know what I'm trying to say. Washington, Orlando, friends. Washington, another terrible, horrible, no good, very bad basketball team. But you had Kyle Kuzma go completely ballistic. take advantage of that poor Detroit team on the other side, and we're going to try to take advantage of it again there. But Kyle Kuzma, nice to see 32, 12, and 8. Best game of the season for him. Not by far. He's had a couple of these like massive, ridiculous games. I know one against Charlotte the other day, but the common threading, Charlotte, terrible at defense. Detroit, terrible at defense. You know, it's not Orlando. Orlando's outrageous so far. Third in adjusted defensive rating. They play a middle of the road pace, rated around 100 possessions per 48 minutes. So that's not really the deal. The deal is Orlando is 12-5 and a very, very good basketball team. But started breaking down what I really wanted to do from a prop perspective, because this is one of the few games that we do have some props for already across the board for every player, not just, you know, a couple here and there. Although our lock, there's only 4 props up in the game, and it doesn't matter because one of them is an automatic lock right now. You want to jump on it as fast as you hear it. But we are looking at this Washington-Orlando game, and I just think Goga Bitadze is kind of the random guy who's jumping to the top for me. Now, I'm not obsessed with some of his PRA stuff, but get this, defensive shooting. We're talking about teams, what they shoot at the rim in Washington. They shoot the second, well, they're terrible at the rim at defending it, 67.1% field goal percentage at the rim. That's the second worst in the NBA. So you could look at Goga from a points perspective, perhaps, but PRA looks a little inefficient. But I'm actually looking at the blocks here. Now, this is kind of square peg, round hole type situation because, well, Washington, they are not going to attempt a ton of shots here at the rim. Or are they? Just saying. 66.2% rim percentage there. That is the number. That's their field goal percentage at the rim. They've been efficient there. And specifically, it's a guy who plays close to the basket in Daniel Gafford. Doesn't really step outside. Doesn't really do a whole hell of a lot. Again, he's a true center. He's trying to be a spark plug and block and steal you to death. And he can definitely do that. 2 blocks per game on that side. But Goga Bitadze playing tons of minutes, obviously, for Orlando in the absence of Wendell Carter. You got Mo Wagner behind him that's coming in and filling in admirably in the backup center minutes and closes some of these games. But Goga, on the season, 1.5 blocks per game. Obviously, the minutes have a place to go. He's only averaging 19.4, but he's played 31-32 against true centers in Toronto and Denver. Boston, Charlotte, those are not matchups where you're going to have Goga Bitadze on the floor a whole lot. Boston can go small, kill you. Obviously, with Zinger out, you could have Al Horford stretch the floor still. And then Charlotte, that's like Mark Williams and that situation, but like they murdered. They were up infinity. It ended up being back-to-back games, Charlotte and Boston, that they ended up murdering. I think that's more of why you saw the limited minutes there for Goga. So again, in competitive spots, we're seeing 31-32 type minutes. He is going to smash 1.5 blocks in a lot of those situations. And I'm waiting for more lines to come out. The only reason this is a lean is because I think we could end up finding something that has even better plus money attached to it than we currently have. Averages right at the 1.5 number. And we're going to get plus money on this over. I think you want it on your card, but I'm going to wait for more numbers to drop here. This could fall in the like or lock category. Again, it's all relative to what the books throw out there. But a team that doesn't shoot a ton at the rim, but with Daniel Gafford, when the attempts are there and you're getting standard minutes out of him, you're probably getting a block or 2 on the way to smash. Now, the 10 spreads freaks everybody out. It's been freaking me out all year because blowouts have been a thing. But I think we just disregard it here. Goga Bitadze is a good bet in this spot. The Phoenix Suns, the Toronto Raptors, and this is a big fat lean for a lot of reasons. 1, Kevin Durant is questionable. Heard he kind of matters. 2, Devin Booker. You're still playing independent of Bradley Beal, but like, you got to know what the usage is going to be here, so they're not going to drop props anytime soon for a guy like Kevin Durant, and it's just a whole thing. And 3, the Toronto Raptors are on a back-to-back. Kind of some unfortunate scheduling. Obviously, this play-in tournament on Tuesday, which I did talk about for the people actually listening to the video. Whatever. It is what it is. That's kind of why Boston was on the card. 11.5, 12.5. Hopefully, they're finishing up business. Yeah, 108.79. Let's finish that up here, gentlemen. That would be nice. But looking at a Toronto team on a back-to-back, you've got a number of pieces that could rest. Now, they're young enough, they're strong enough, they're tough enough, and gosh darn it, people like them. But Toronto, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, Dennis Schroeder, OG Anunoby, Jakob Poeltl, a lot of guys who could play a lot of minutes throughout this season are going to be asked to play a lot of minutes because, well, they're just not going into the bench like they once upon a time did. So you're not going to get some minutes for Boucher most of the time. You're not going to get as many minutes. Again, Precious Achiuwa been playing like mid-teens minutes after playing 23, 24 the first couple, like the Jakob Poeltl side of things there on the matchup. Brooklyn. But anyway, Phoenix, Toronto in this spot. I think you just lean the money line. Minus 115, minus 120. Obviously, that is a huge middled number because Kevin Durant, one of the more influential basketball players that's going to exist on the planet when it comes to being in or out, and what will happen with that line. And obviously, everybody knows that. Utah, Memphis. Utah 9-8 against the spread. Not something that you would typically think. Obviously, we had backed Utah a lot this season, and we go from a lean on the last game there that was sitting minus 115, where it's kind of close. I'm actually going to be leaning towards Utah again here against Memphis. Obviously, we expect better results than we've seen of late from the Memphis side of things, but Marcus Smart continuing to be out. Xavier Tillman still out. Luke Kennard still out, who can knock down a shot or two for you. And then Morant, Adams, Clark, they just haven't been there all season long, so it is what it is. But this is a Memphis team with Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., Santi Aldama starting to play a little bit better here, but this is a lot of respect seeing nearly minus 200 money coming towards the Memphis side of things. Of course, Utah, you're not running to the window considering Lauri Markkanen has already been ruled out. He's going to not just sit out for this one, but he's going to be sitting out the next one as well. Both of these road games here for Utah. And then Jordan Clarkson, he's questionable. He ended up playing in that game, told you it didn't matter as much, although, again, got closing line value with the Pelicans. You know what I can do with that closing line value? Jack shit. I lost money. Good job, Utah. It goes out and win a basketball game against me. One time I bet against Utah and get closing line value. It is what it is. Thanks, Pelicans. But as I'm looking at this number right now, plus 170, that's the number you got to be getting. That's kind of where I'm starting to feel as though we want to be a part of it. And yes, producer Jacob, letting me know Utah was the best team against the spread. Look at this. Throwing me tidbits in the middle of the show. What kind of a production do we have going on here? It's like professional quality and shit. I guess you can't say and shit, and then it probably ruins it a little bit. But I'm looking at Utah plus money, leaning that direction. Again, plus 170. It started to show up. Again, I need a couple more of these lines. And I do think, again, why is Memphis minus 200? Why? What have they done this season that would make you think that they should be minus 200 in this spot? Now, obviously, there's an implied win percentage that's attached to it. It's more saying that that's a terrible bet to be backing Memphis or throw it in your parlays, because I know what you crazy bitches do. Yeah, I know what you're doing. But they're 3-13 for a reason. They're missing a ton of pieces. Time is ticking. Got to start turning this season around. But guess what? Leaning the Utah side. Period. End of story. Also want to throw in one more thing for you, because I do think Keontae George under 15.5 points is a good play, but I know a lot of you hate it when I recommend unders, and it is what it is. But like, Keontae George is not going to be a usage guy here, especially Jordan Clarkson. He's going to want to do everything for this team. John Collins, pretty quiet there. But yeah, Jordan Clarkson, 4 for 16 last time around the River Bend. It is what it is, friends. 6 for 14. I mean, Keontae George last time out. 19, 15, 16. Oh, yeah. There's going to be a lot of people who hate that play, but under 15.5, it's actually projecting out as a like. I'm just calling it a lean because I don't want to deal with the bullshit. Want to deal with this, though, friends? BetMGM, great opportunity to sign up at the link below. Get yourself up to $1,500 in bonus bets. The ranges of the offers are different from state to state. You want to take advantage. Obviously, I'm going to be in the great state of Nevada, firing it up on BetMGM here over the weekend. Skoducks on Friday, going to be good stuff. But friends, doesn't matter what state you're in. If you have legal sports betting in your state, BetMGM is a great opportunity to get some cash in your pocket now. $1,500 in bonus bets up for the takings down at the link below, as well as 2 months of OddsShopper tools plus Discord access, $100 value coming to you completely for free just by trying out BetMGM. So claim up to those $1,500 in bonus bets in your state today. Again, if you've changed states, you have opportunity to go from state to state. Just saying, it's a great opportunity to sign up everywhere at BetMGM. Only for 21 and over, 18 and over in Kentucky. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Oh, let's get to the lock, shall we? Daddy's excited to talk about this. And yeah, Daddy just called himself Daddy. That's a weird way to begin a segment. But you know what? We're going to continue on. Pretty clear cut. Philadelphia, minus 1.5 going into New Orleans. And do you know how many times we run into games where Joel Embiid is just so damn good and so damn ridiculous that they just blow everybody out of the water? I'll answer a lot. Now, Joel Embiid gave you the lean on Joel Embiid triple-double. He ends up getting there for you last time, 30, 11, and 11. Beautiful stuff across the board there. Of course, it would have been just too convenient for me to end up pulling the trigger on it. It's like the crying kid meme where he's like, a little bit of that. that probably didn't look great on camera, but it is what it is. We continue on. Joel Embiid, 32, 11.3, and 6.6 assists per game. That has gone up here. 8, 9, 9, 11 in 4 of his last 5. Again, he is out there creating. He is out there doing everything for this basketball team, as he should be. He's the reigning freaking MVP. So, sorry, my nose itched for a second. But we continue on our merry way. There's actually a teammate of his I want to focus in on. But first, the news on the Pelicans side. CJ McCollum, great to see it. Happy to see it. Upgraded to questionable here. Going to go through shoot around. Going to find out what is going on with his status. And that matters big time because, well, he's good at basketball. He's not as good at basketball as some of the other guys, but he loves to play basketball. I love to play basketball. Oh, yeah. Space Jam for anybody who cares. But I'm looking at Tobias Harris, friends. We are looking at the Sixers side of things. And one of the big phenomenons last year's playoffs is I said, oh, this is the guy that they brought over from the Clippers to be the number 2 at the time. And then Tyrese Maxey came to the forefront. And then they had Harden there for a second. But this was always what was promised here out of Tobias Harris at some point in time. And he has been living up to the billing this season, filling a nice, not even a void, but like kind of the void of himself over the course of the last few years. But last year's playoffs is when you really started to see him take a jump. Philadelphia's second in adjusted net rating. And if this weren't on the road, I would be jamming the -1.5 here, but just some questionable type deals. Kelly Oubre sounds like he could come back on Friday too for anybody that cares about that. Again, do we know what happened with that accident yet? We probably don't, but Tobias Harris, friends, this is where you want to be invested on this day. This number has to be moving soon. He has only a 20.1% usage, but when you're playing alongside Joel Embiid and he's out there creating for you, you're going to get easy looks at the basket. And there's positive regression coming on his 32.2% three-point percentage. He's also getting those easy looks, though, and his field goal percentage is still north of 52%, and he has a 59.9% two-point percentage, which is just absurd type stuff. Again, you have Joel Embiid and a team focused in on him. I understand. Hey, Eric, he has the Herbert Jones defense spot. Herb Jones. But he averages 18.6 points per game. This is a huge downgrade here to 16.5 points, sitting at -125. So I'm getting 2 full points difference. I get that this is a Pelicans matchup that, could definitely be difficult with the Herb Jones character. He confirmed can play some defense. But it's not a guarantee that that's going to be how things set up from a matchup perspective. You have Nicholas Batum out on the floor who can knock down a three-pointer or two and has been doing so convincingly well the last few games. And since putting on a frickin' 76ers uniform, 50% from 3, 19 for 38 there. Wild stuff to see. So just saying, Tobias Harris is going to have some looks. He's going to get some opportunities playing alongside Maxey and Embiid, who are going to get keyed in on that, my friends. 2 points is a downgrade. This makes no sense to me whatsoever. And New Orleans, are they down in pace? Are they? Let me double check. No, they're not. 100.4 possessions per 48 minutes. 10th in the NBA. Friends, Tobias Harris over 16.5 points. Lock it up. Favorite play of the day thus far, by far. Houston and Denver, and my God, is it insane to talk about this basketball game. What? Houston's on a back-to-back, so you know what that means. If Tari Eason steps foot on the floor here on Tuesday, let me double-check the box score, carry the one. Yeah, he's not going to be playing basketball here tomorrow, then that's cool to know. But that doesn't really matter in the complexion of this because Denver, they got themselves some news. Nikola Jokic, I don't know, the best player in the NBA, the most influential basketball player in the NBA. He is questionable. That somehow isn't the highlight of the questionable tags. And Aaron Gordon, Denver winning that basketball game was absolutely insane. Reggie Jackson season, DeAndre Jordan season. It was kind of fun to watch. I mean, that was a lover's scorn situation if I've ever seen it. Don't mind me. I still got 4.5 points of closing value and lost that bet too. But anyway, doesn't matter. We're not going to be doing anything here. The highlight, though, of the questionable section, Jamal Murray upgraded to questionable with the hamstring injury. He has not played basketball since November 4th. It has been over 3 weeks. Nice to see him back, at least on the injury report here. We'll see if he goes through shoot around in the morning. We'll have a better gauge for it, but something tells me we're not getting this number ahead of time. Now, Houston, we've backed a lot successfully. Good stuff. 10-3-1 against the spread. They've kind of been a darling of ours. However, Is this really the spot you want to go out of your way here? I'm not sure where the number lands. There's so many pieces in flux. It really matters when you get this news. If books want to throw up some kind of a stale middle line, we'll find out. But more than likely, my hunch is that you don't upgrade Jamal Murray to questionable unless you have actual anticipation on him playing in this basketball game in some way, shape, or form. Now, does he get immediately vaulted into, how many minutes is he playing? 30 and a half minutes per game. Not even that many to start off the season. Slow and steady wins the race, but partially you had the 10-minute per game thing that ended up crashing that number. So a little bit of an outlier that pulls down that average. So again, the difference between median and mean, it's a whole thing, and we can have a million conversations about it because, well, it matters big time when you're talking about props. Anywho, we're looking at Jamal Murray as a piece that matters, and you should too. Nikola Jokic is a piece that matters, and you should too. But I guess we just throw in Nikola Jokic to triple-double odds, and we just move along our merry way. Yeah, let's just do that. I really don't have a whole lot to break down here. Houston, does anybody rest on the back-to-back? Do they just punt this game? There's a chance it happens. I just don't want to pick a side. I don't have a total to pick from. And then the Joker triple-double seems like something you still want plus money attached to it. If it doesn't have that, we just disregard, move on to another day. So weird, because Sacramento's a team that I have been backing in the last year and a half. A team that has definitely treated me better than they have done the opposite. I could have found a better way to say that, but I found my Apple Pencil. I was looking for that today. Just staring right in front of me. It's for the old iPad, the whole thing. And I don't know, I was finger tracing like a toddler. Anyway, I should probably talk about the basketball now. That was an exciting find, though. We got the Clippers, we got the Sacramento Kings, and this is a team in Sacramento that I've backed a lot, and yet they're going to be on a back-to-back. Coming off of me picking on them with Golden State, there's probably a good chance I'm going to pick on them here with the Clippers team that just had one of the most egregious, terrible, horrible, no good, very bad losses of the season. Probably the worst loss of the season. It gets highlighted, personified, starred, circled because Paul George, 2 for 13 from the floor, 5 personal fouls. He still played 37 minutes, 2 for 13 from the floor. The spacing was jumbled. The end of the fourth, everybody looked scared to make mistakes. It was weird to see Russell Westbrook play as well as what he did in that game. 14, 11, and 3 in just 27 minutes of work. Looked like he actually wanted to be there, whereas James Harden was like, you can find me in the club. I'm into having sex. I ain't into making love, so come give me a hug if you're into getting rough. That didn't go well. I'm not going to start this segment over. We're going to continue on. James Harden, friends, what are we doing here? 7 shot attempts. I mean, he's going to be out there as a distributor. You don't want him out there as a distributor, just like a dude standing there. You need him active on the offensive end because otherwise he brings you nothing on the defensive end. I'm so weirded out by what's going on here with this Clippers team. Ty Lue is probably the guy that needs to go, and you need to just figure out how to make these pieces fit because this is the team you've been dealt. And James Harden, I said it, I will own it before. I thought, hey, you got to take these big swings, and hey, if it ends up being a miss, so be it. So far been a miss, especially when you lose to Denver without Jokic, without Gordon, without Murray, without anybody, and you get owned by 2 of your former players, one who is 100 years old in DeAndre Jordan, and the other is Reggie Jackson, who everybody thought was dust 2 years ago. So it is what it is, friends. Oh, yeah. We should probably talk about why we're going to be backing the Clippers, though. Clippers, they need positive regression. They're also the team that's not on the back-to-back here in this spot. And Thursday, we already know those are days of rest du jour for pretty much everybody, but only 7 games here on the slate. I don't want to get too crazy here and call this a lock by any means because it is the Clippers and they have been playing some highly volatile basketball. Something tells me we're going to want to pick on Sacramento again. Clippers, they have to figure it out better than they have been. And Paul George is not going to play that bad ever again. So help me God. So help me God. Sacramento also just middle of the road in adjusted net rating. Clippers are higher in adjusted net rating. So, yeah. Clippers money line. Thumbs up. Let's get out of here. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. So you know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist here on Wednesday's slate. Excited to break it all down for you in that premium Discord, of course. Show the screen one more time, producer Jacob, if you could. We got $14.95 here for Odd Shopper for the weekly, $49.95 for the monthly. That's really all. I mean, that picture is terrible of me. I mean, I'm pretty positive we were at the bar in Chicago when this was taken, but it is what it is. I'm an idiot. But this is a very smart tool. $14.95 weekly, $49.95 for the monthly. Awesome stuff. Love that we have reduced the price so everybody can see just how powerful OddsShopper is and this community is. Nice to have Greg Ehrenberg, my dude, back in the fray here in the premium Discord, giving out picks, giving out winners. Let's do it. Let's get ourselves the heck up out of here, shall we? Yes, we shall. Until next time, friends, thank you, producer Jacob. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Wednesday.